Hey, hi, how are you? Okay, today there are just a couple of things I'd like to share. First, if you can see the pre-market for Facebook has dropped around 4% for this for Friday morning opening, which will happen in a few hours' time. Um, this happened together with Snap stocks, Twitter as well, pink interest as well, although pink interest actually went up a bit with the speculation that PayPal will be buying over it. So we are not sure whether it will be there will be a rebound. Um, the reason there's no specific reason, but the reason could be because of the fact that of these iOS privacy settings that may affect or has already affected Snap stocks, which just announced lower than expected third QR profits. So other social media platforms uh, also got the scare and actually has may go down, as shown in this pre-market. The second point I like to say is looking at all the various social media stocks. As you can see, ARK Invest actually they like Twitter the most. The price to sales ratio is only 12 compared to Snap and Pink Interest. Um, of course, I personally feel that Facebook um, is in the same category as Twitter because Facebook has a global reach. Twitter still hasn't really catch fire in other parts of the world as much as Facebook and Instagram. And so advertising, I think, still very much dominated by Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp. Um, this is just one of the news that PayPal is another social media news that may acquire Pink interest. PayPal actually has the profile of many user, especially in US. They have a e-wallet that's called Verzon, and buying Pink interest actually will probably make them becoming an e-commerce site and may increase the the people's usage of PayPal and uh, their e-wallets. So I think it's a good synergy. Although investors are saying that $70 to acquire Pink interest is a bit on the high side. PayPal has been on the acquisition spree lately. They bought a buy now pay later company in Tokyo as well. So they may be expanding into Tokyo. And I quite like the buy now pay later scheme, which is the interest is much lower than credit cards and all that. But this is a short term 10-year kind of loan. Basically, you pay over 6 weeks or 8 weeks, and it's only 1%, for example. So they can actually use that money over and over again, and over a year, that same amount of money that they lend out, they probably may get 3 to 4, 5 or 6%. So this is actually it does give a run for the money for all the credit card companies, and I think even wealthy people they might use the buy now pay later because it's only 1% and or even 0.8%. Um, this is actually some of the general comments about the PayPal's potential buy bid on Pink interest. Take note that there are other suitors as well who are interested in Pink interest. Microsoft also looking at them. Yeah, you see the bull case and the bear case. The bear case is that because Pink interest already have existing customers like IKEA, Shopify, and all that. We're not sure whether, or especially or competitors to PayPal. We're not sure that because it becomes part of PayPal, other uh, companies that are competitors to PayPal may reduce their participation in paying interest. This is yet to see. Um, Another social media news, which is of course Facebook. They started their crypto, their e-wallets, um, for probably their Facebook shops, Instagram shops, or any transactions that you make on marketplace. They are creating an e-wallet, and crypto is one of the addition to the e-wallets. So I think this is actually cool. uh, there's many things going on for Facebook and Instagram, despite the bad publicity lately on the below 12 years old Instagram account. Instagram platform for those younger people. So something to watch out for on all the positive catalysts on Facebook, the market leader in social media platforms on advertising. The second point I wanted to make is about the general consensus on the year ahead. Um, of course, this guy is Lee, very famous investor. He has always been a very bull on the Nasdaq, saying that they do not have to incur higher input costs or even affected by higher energy costs. In fact, they benefited from their staff staying at home with lower salary, reduce their office sizes and all that. That will make their profit margin even higher in a in this current inflationary environment. So very bull towards the Nasdaq for the next 6 7 years. And um, so this is Jim as well. Very a bit getting a bit bullish too on the market, saying that we shouldn't be stop taking investment advice from bearish billionaires. So something interesting to talk about. Um, yeah, whether inflation has peaked or not, is something that I felt that is on the high. The inflection point when it will happen, we're not sure. Um, some factories in China were shut down for 5 days in September, but things are probably looks like it's getting back to normal in October onwards. So it's good to dollar cost average in at this moment. You can never time the market. It's so difficult to time the market. So just do what you can, nibble in along the way. Um, Whereas Tom, another popular, famous YouTuber, he says that he also pretty pro bullish on Nasdaq, but he's talking about this discounted cash flow on an inflationary environment means that especially high growth stocks with no positive profits at this point in time. So he's excluding companies like Facebook, Tesla, and all that, but he's looking at those Russell's company, small to medium sized company, where he said if inflation goes up, the discounted cash flow will goes up as well, which means it will hurt the valuation of those growth company that has high growth in terms of revenue but not making profits. I just want to talk about the third thing I want to talk about is all the grocers. They are the one of the few that can actually translate higher prices to consumer. Walmart is one of them, but personally, I like Kroger's. Show you a bit about Kroger's, which is this one. Warren Buffett has been buying non-stop on this company, so I believe it has quite a bit of catalysts coming ahead. Plus, Kroger also is going into tech with its something called Hive, where they have this thing called the distribution center, where they um, it's a bit like Amazon. If you look behind the screen here, they can sort things out, and you buy online and it's delivered the same day. They have started this in Florida, so which is very interesting. And I think they may expand to other states. There's another 50 plus states to go. Um, so just they have another thing called the homes kitchen as well, which actually basically you can they started a F&B center, a bit like a food court kind of thing, but you can actually buy good food. You can plan your weekly meal, your calorie intakes and all that. They have variety of different type of food, and it's very healthy. And basically they are like a place where you can have different cuisine, different type of food, in working in a in a centralized kitchen format. We believe this is a very efficient way to go in the future, so you don't have different restaurants have different serving different foods in different locations. It's also easier for logistic perspective, so they have a massive space. They monitor the quality of the food, so they have different kinds of cook chef making the food, and it's a centralized kitchen churning out different kinds of food, can be from Chinese food to burgers. So fourthly, just want to touch quickly on this company called KULR, highly recommended by Date Insight, a famous YouTuber. Everyone has been talking about this thing called the thermal management solution, wrapping the lithium batteries, cool it down, not to overheat it. We already have it in all the mobile phones. This is actually to prevent accident or fire, especially. So now they are talking about the heat generated from Bitcoin mining and all those things that makes thermal management solutions even more higher in demand. So, well, something to put in your watch list, I think. There's another company called the CPSH, also highly recommended by Date Insight. He did say about CPSH actually does all the thermal heating things that wrap up the rovers that NASA sent up to Mars. So, you know, where you have all these rocket fuel emission, all that is super hot, high temperature. So all these thermal wrap materials are very important. So yeah, that's all for today. I just share these four things. Click a like if you can. Thank you so much.